All right, guys, this is the California Congressional Legislative Caucus. These people need to be remembered forever for their treachery. Even if they do good things, they need to be replaced. And it just needs to be a consequence for the treachery that they've done, because they colluded with the white governor and establishment to trick black people in the country and in California to think that they were fighting for reparations, but they had planned all along to snatch it right at the end and not actually give the reparations. So they wanted credit for fighting for reparations, but not one of them broke with their massa to go ahead and put these very important laws through. So, I don't care what else good they've done. I don't know what it is, and what I don't care. They need to be out of these offices and some new people, and see what these people do. But we're still fighting for reparations. But these particular people need to be just moved. I don't care. They could do something else. If they're serious, they'll come back. All right?
Don't you trust them new niggas over there? Don't you trust them new niggas with their finger on the trigger? Don't trust them new niggas over there. Don't you trust them new niggas over there?
They want reparations.
Trust them new niggas over there.
We want humiliation.
Don't trust them new niggas with their finger on the trigger. Don't trust them new niggas over there.
They want liberation.
Don't trust them new niggas over there.
We want the plantation.
Don't trust them new niggas over there.
They want their own schools.
Trust them new niggas with their finger on the trigger. Don't trust them new niggas over
The
there.
cops shoot you every day,
Trust them new niggas over
and then we let them get away.
there. Trust them new niggas over there.
We prefer to play the fool.
Trust them new niggas with their finger on the trigger. Don't trust them new niggas over
We
there.
go to church to scream and shout.
Trust them new niggas over
The next day we sell you out.
there. Trust them new niggas with their finger on the trigger. Don't trust them new niggas over there.
You are white. You shut the fuck. You are white. You white.
What's up, everybody? This is Super Mike. Just coming to you guys with a little story here. I wanted to highlight. It's in AP. It says in California Gold Rush Town, some black families are fighting for land taken from their ancestors. Now, this is actually very significant because this was one of the bills in the California reparations program that was blackballed by the Black Congressional Congress in California. And this kind of lets me know, like I said before, don't have a government, because your government's going to protect you, okay? And these people were blackballed by black people in the California government. So what they wanted to do actually is pretend like they was going to do reparations, so they get credit for pretending and trying to do it, and say, gosh darn it, those darn Republicans, but not actually do the reparations. There's something about giving black people something. There's something about it. So here you go. Coloma, California, a tiny town where the California gold rush began. Black families are seeking restitution for land that was taken from their ancestors to make way for a state park now frequented by fourth graders learning about the state's history. So this is their land, but it's now a park. Okay. And like I said, the reparations bill would have really returned all land that was taken like that. racism land. Their efforts in Coloma, a town of around 300 people that's located 36 miles northeast of Sacramento, are one of the latest examples of Black Americans urging the government to atone for practices that have kept them from thriving long after chattel slavery was abolished. Debates over reparations for African Americans or Black American, or foundational Black Americans, often come back to land that was the center of a promise originally made and later broken by the U.S. government to formerly enslaved Black people in the mid-1800s. Give them up to 40 acres and of land as restitution for their labor, for their time of enslavement. And for some, the promise of reparations has been nothing more than fool's gold, epitomized by a bill in Congress that stalled since it was first introduced in the 1980s, even though it's aimed at studying reparations named after the original promise. So these are descendants of Nelson Bell. And you see, they're still Black, but you see they're kind of turning Hispanic or something. But the fight in Coloma is taking place in a state where the governor signed a first-in-the-nation law to study reparations, but advocates are pushing for the state to go further. Gold was once found near Coloma in 1848 by James W. Marshall, a white carpenter, setting off the California gold rush that saw hundreds of thousands of people from across the nation and outside the U.S. come or be brought to the state. Those who migrated, including white, Asian, and free enslaved Black people. You're going to say Black people migrated. Okay. Decades later, Black and white families had their land taken. See, they love to do stuff. Now, first of all, you're going to write a story highlighting Black people trying to get their land back, and now you made them equal. Decades later, Black and white families had their land taken by the government in the town before it was turned into the Marshall Gold Discovery State Historic Park, which opened in 1942. The park today is home to a museum, churches, and cemeteries where residents were buried. A nearly 42-foot monument of Marshall stands on its grounds. But the history of the Black families who settled in Coloma only recently started getting increased recognition. California State Parks launched an initiative in 2020 to re-examine its past and to tell a more thorough, inclusive, and complete history of California, Department spokesperson Adeline Yee said in an email to the Associated Press. The department created a web page with information about properties owned by Black families at the park in Coloma. So, like I said before too, this really speaks to the sheer volume of theft, and right now they got the nerve to declare themselves as some sort of arbiter of justice in these courts. Here you got P. Diddy going to court for some stuff that he probably was guilty of, but I guarantee you that he's an industry norm. The stuff that he was doing is normal in that industry among those wealthy people. So, the thing is, you can pluck out the Black people doing bad stuff, but the Black folks in those industries are following what the white folks are doing normally. But this is the type of country that you have, and these are the type of people that are in control. They're not government. They're just some sort of They're the real RICO. They need RICO charges on them. So Elmer Fonza, a retiree who worked at the brewery in California before eventually relocating to Nevada, said he is the third great-grandson of Nelson Bell, a formerly enslaved black man from Virginia who became a property owner in Coloma. After Bell's death in 1869, a judge determined that he had no heirs in the state, and his estate was sold at an auction, according to a probate document shared by the El Dorado County Historical Museum. It's unclear what happened to the Bell's property in the years that followed. Fonges said, adding that the land should be returned to his family. We rightfully believe that we have been denied the generational wealth that our family may have been entitled to if given our rightful inheritance. The land once owned by Nelson Bell, he said at the final meeting of a First in the Nation State Reparation Task Force. Nancy Gooch, a black woman who was brought to Coloma from the South in 1849 by a white man who enslaved her and her husband. Gooch was soon freed when California became a state and worked as a cook, cleaned laundry for miners. She later brought her son, Andrew Monroe, from Missouri to join them in town. The Monroe-Gooch family would become one of the most prosperous black landowners in California. We have to bring forth the truth because that's reconciliation, said Jonathan Burgess, a Sacramento resident who co-owns a barbecue catering business and who is also claiming land in Coloma that was of his descendants. And then once we begin forth the truth, which I've been doing, is speaking the whole time, we've got to make it right. Make it right would mean compensating families for land that can be returned or returning property where possible. And that's what one of those bills was about. Burgess said in an interview at the park, he said he is descendant from Rufus Morgan Burgess, a black writer who was brought to Coloma with his father, who was enslaved. Jonathan Burgess also said his family is descendant from Bell, but the Fonza and Burgess families say they are not related to each other. The discrepancy highlights the difficult work that could be ahead for black residents in California ever past reparations. It's not difficult. Requiring families to document their lineage. That was what the agency was about. So in the California reparations bill, they have basically a freedmen's agency, which was specializing in record keeping and lineage documentation and ancestry documentation. So that's not a difficult thing, because the records are available. Now, they want to make it seem like it's extra difficult, but it's not no more difficult than just looking at the history. People have been doing it for a long time. Cheryl Austin, a retiree living in Sacramento, said she is heir of John Wilson and Phoebe Wilson, a free married black couple who came to Coloma during the late 1850s. After John and Phoebe Wilson died, their property was sold through a probate, Austin said. The state must somehow repair harm done to the families whose property was seized, she said. You see, they steal so much black people land that they don't want to do it. The restitution fight in California comes as lawmakers are weighing reparations proposals in the state legislature. That includes a bill to create the California American Freedmen's Affairs Agency, which would help black residents research their family lineage. Another proposal would make any families whose land was seized unjustly by the government due to racially discriminatory motives entitled to the return of the property or compensation. I mean, that is nothing but fair. It's very simple. These people, these black people, you know, at the behest of the white governor. No, I ain't voting for none of y'all. And they keep sending me stuff to vote. But these people and these so-called black agencies, push black. You guys are traitors because they're using our lineage and our history, but they're kind of twisting it, and so that white people have to stay in power. That's the problem, because they don't want you to have any assets, any power, any land, any money, so that we can start manipulating the realms and reigns of power. They don't want that, which it's not going to do anything but make everything stabilized. So I don't understand why not. So that's the issue there. I just wanted to put that out there. This is just some of the understanding of the Black California reparations situation. And it is a very good template for the national reparations conversation. So peace out. Let me know what you think about it. Make sure you guys press the thumbs up and let me know. Peace.
You
Don't you trust them new niggas over there? Don't you trust them new niggas with the finger on the trigger? Trust them new niggas over there. Don't you trust them new niggas over there?
They want reparations. We want humiliation. They want liberation. We want the plantation. They want their own schools. Cops shoot you every day. Then let them get away. We prefer to play the fool. We go to church to scream and shout. The next day we sell you out.
Trust them new niggas with the finger on the trigger. Trust them new niggas.